Welcome back to another isolation interview. I am here with AJ from Fire from the Gods. How are you doing in isolation right now, and are you able to not go insane with everything that's going on?
Dude, it's hard, but the cool thing about it is I go into isolation when I come off the road anyway.
Okay.
And so it's maybe an extended isolation, but this is kind of the norm for me. Like, I stay home. I go out a little bit when I'm off the road, but when I'm home, I'm like home,
Yeah. I mean, like, because you're now like established road wanderer at this point for how many tours you guys have done, especially since the new album came out back in November. So since it's still relatively recent, like staying home for this elongated of a time, and it feels more definite now because like the tour with Bad Wolves, Hollywood Undead, that's pretty much either hiatus or completely done. So is that have an effect on you now, just with what's going on right now in April of 2020? How do you look forward to like figuring out what's next for Fire from the Gods?
The thing is, like everyone else in the business, we're kind of all grasping for straws right now. Like, what is it we can do to keep our bands active? What is it we can do to keep our fans engaged? And it's not panic mode as of yet. I don't think it's really sit in, especially with the Fire dudes, because we're used to taking at least a month off between tours or 3 weeks. And so it still really hasn't sit in, and the cabin fever and all that craziness and all that shit. But I'm really glad that our team is really trying to keep us as active as possible. And I see a lot of our peer bands doing it. Guys are doing acoustic stuff. We're working on some acoustic stuff. I'm working on some other kind of like cool ideas to try and interact with some of my industry peers, so to speak. So it's really not sitting in. I think what's really gonna when it's gonna hit home is if we're still in the situation come June or July. Okay. June is really gonna be like, gee, what the fuck, But I'm excited for the fall though, man, because I know the fall's gonna be very competitive. Even if we don't hit the road, I know there's going to be a lot of our bands and our peer friends and bands that are going to be active. So at least I have something to do. I can go to shows and, we'll start ramping up and the conversation about tours and stuff will start happening. So right now it's just kind of just try to stay at peace,
Right. And I think the one thing is it's going to be competitive for the fall. I mean, festivals will pick back up, hopefully in the summer and fall and stuff like that. At the same time, everyone's in the same boat that you are, though. It's not like Fire from the Gods is at a severe disadvantage while everyone else is on the road.
Right. We're all at zero,
Yeah,
we're
exactly.
All zero at one. So it's good that I like it. It's kind of a reset, unfortunate because of the whole Corona and COVID situation. It's now becoming like an elongated hiatus for the music industry. But at the same time, it does give us a chance to reset. We were fortunate enough to have a record that's kind of fresh, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, it's November, so it's still new in everyone's mind.
So people still get time to digest it. And hey, what better time to go back to the old school to sit down and listen to an album start to finish? You know what I'm saying? Like
Exactly. So, I mean, American Sun's still getting blasted. Several songs on SiriusXM on Octane and things like that.
Yeah.
You've probably been asked this before, but it was such a cool thing at the end of last year. You guys, Fire from the Gods, were named as one of Sirius's top bands to check out. Not just Octane, not Liquid Metal, all of SiriusXM. They picked 5 big names, and they said Fire from the Gods.
That's pretty dope. I didn't even think it was that. I didn't even know it was to that extent. I thought it was just like thing.
Yeah, Jose Mangan really pitched that for you guys every time he would like introduce like the song or like the title track or anything later or anything like that. He would say that about you guys. I'm like, wow, this covers all of Sirius. That's intense.
I listen to Sirius when I'm in the car, and I'm obviously not in the car that often.
Yeah.
But that's pretty fucking sweet, man. I love Jose, man, and I love what he does for the industry, man, and what he does for the genre, so to speak.
I think he's a good ambassador for everything too. Like, he has such a positive attitude. It sells everyone appropriately.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100, dude. When we first came on the scene with Excuse Me, and Excuse Me was getting played back in 2016. It was like, whoa, this band, and we were getting talked about a lot. But American Sun has really put us in this whole different kind of category and bracket now, where I think people are really understanding what the band's about, what the message is about, and they're really getting a good grasp and a good depiction of who Fire from the Gods is. And a lot of that is owed to the fact that Zoltan from Five Finger was kind of like stepped in and became our quote unquote big picture manager and introduced us to 11-7, which is now Better Noise, and 10th Street Management. So things have really ramped up. So having Jose Menguin and those guys on board and having Sirius on board is massive for us, and we just want to continue to do that. And when we come to this hiatus thing, I think we're just going to be kicking like we used to do old school, man. We were on the road incessantly when Narrative came out. I think we played like over 600 shows on. And I wanted to at least get somewhere near that with American Sun.
Right, 600 though, that is massive. Do you get to the point now where you're on the road, like you forget the feeling of home? Do you ever get to that point of just endless travel, endless on the bus, in the van, wherever it is? Does it get like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nah, we're fortunate enough. Like we're older guys, like we're in our 30s and stuff, so we're not like a new band where we're like in our teens where we're just like, oh my god, everything's crazy, or young guys. So we've kind of we've shaped our minds around the fact that we're gonna be away from home. Yeah. And those of us that have new families, like my bass player Bonner, he's just had a new baby, he's married, and everyone has like their their home life, which everyone does, but we've kind of come to the understanding that this is what we need to do. And that ties me back into saying, like, with American Sun, it's really put us in a completely different mindset of who we are as musicians, who we are as artists, and ultimately who we are as a band. And part of that is we got to be out there, we got to hit the road. And although the internet and satellite radio and all that stuff is great, and the internet is a fantastic way for people to get their music out there, but you got to kick it old school. You got to hit the road. You have to be on tour. So, yeah, we know that home is there, but we also know that we got a job to do.
Yeah. And speaking of home right now for you, like you got a little one with you right now they're going to be spending a lot more time with. How is the new bonding experience? 2 years old, right?
Yeah, she's two and a half almost now. Okay. But, it's been insane, dude. Like, learning, like, today she went to the party and she's like, yay, party. I'm like, whoa, why are you so excited? You just took a shit. But then I'm like, I forget, you're a 2-year-old, so this is a whole new world for her, so it's wild, man. And she, like I said, man, before she's starting to cuss a lot more. Okay. And that's probably my fault because I play Xbox with a bunch of my homies and we play FIFA, and I'm a big soccer guy, so I love FIFA.
Well, you're training her for the soccer games when you take her to those live ones itself anyway.
Exactly. So fuck, shit, so she's like, fuck, and I'll say like, shit, and she goes, Daddy, what happened? And I'm like, oh god, here we go.
Okay, so she understands the grasp of it now too, so she's not just parroting. Okay.
He's fully got it down packed where she messes up something and she's like, shit, and I'm like, oh boy.
So the thing is, though, you got a few more years before kindergarten before you really have to sit her down and go, okay, here's what you don't do, because I can't do the daddy conferences. Yeah.
Exactly. And everyone's like, yo, your kid's got a foul mouth, I'm like, well.
Yeah, high five. Thanks.
Yeah. I don't want to be that guy, that one dad.
Yeah, exactly. And it could be a little bit awkward, too. It's like, oh, yeah, she was listening to my new album. You want to check it out? And when you're doing the teacher conference, too. So you were talking about some of the cool things you're trying to work on, like with people also in your industry, other guys in the band, just things that you can do while you're in isolation. Is there anything, like, if you can't talk about it right now, it's because it's a secret, that's fine. But is there anything you are looking forward to, like, that you are wanting to do, or at least try, while in isolation for an indefinite amount of time?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I know the guys, the guitar players and drummer Richie, who is kind of the main collaborator along with myself in the band, in terms of writing. They're going to be going through a lot of like playthroughs and stuff like that. Little cool shit that people can interact and do it live. Before it was all about like, hey, let's just shoot this really cool video from multiple angles and make it look all nice and spiced up. But now it's like I'm in my home and you're going to see how I get down. I think fans are going to be really looking forward to stuff like that. And the more that bands do it and the more that we do it, it's just taking the experience of being in a band and being an artist to a whole nother level.
Do you think this is going to help, like, kind of have your fans and, like, many new fans that might check you out this way help relate a little bit more? Because seeing, like, 100%. These guys are effects too, so.
100%. And, we are a band that prides ourselves on being real dudes, we like to show that we're humans. We're not like on some rock star status shit. You know, like we interact with people. Like after we play, even if it's in an arena or it's in a bar, like we'll go out there and we'll interact with people. And I know, you know, that causes security concerns and all that kind of shit. But, you know, I used to be that kid that was out there and like, oh my God, I would really love the opportunity just to shake that dude's hand. So I know how that feels. And I'm like, you know, I'll go out there and say what's up. And we're still fairly new. We're still a fairly new band. So people have to like kind of, I want to interact. And I think that people are going to see this and be like, yeah, man, these guys are real dudes. And that's how he gets down in his home. And he's just sitting there jamming on guitar, or, you know, I'm sitting there writing vocals over some music that I got, you know, shit like that.
Like one good thing that was brought up by Paolo of Trivium a couple days ago, do you think like the situation now is going to affect things like meet and greets and going out into the public and stuff like that for the future,
100%.
At least for the immediate future? Yeah.
100%. I mean, I think everything now, technology has integrated so much into our lives that every aspect of our lives, we're finding out new ways to utilize technology and new ways to interact with each other. And the meet and greet, the band to fan experience is going to get taken to a whole nother level, especially since you've got a bunch of smart people in tech that are sitting at home doing nothing. You know, well, not necessarily doing nothing. They're working on new ways to make this a little bit more. And if that's you, then, you know, you being, you know, running the interviews and all that such. I mean, it's cool, man. And I'm excited about it. You know, I'm not going to let it be one of these things like, oh my God, well, I don't really want to do that. Because, you know, some of the older guys and older bands, I've seen it. I've heard all my, you know, the mentors, they all are like, man, I don't really want to do that. I don't want to do that interview. I don't want to be on Instagram. I don't want to be on Facebook. I don't really like it either, but I understand its usage. I understand how it can really help people connect. And the biggest thing that I'd like to do is connect with fans, because the message of our music in Fire from the Gods is so important to us that we feel it's important to those out there, and we want people to hear it. So if there's a new way that comes about for us to interact and connect with people, I'm all about it.
Yeah. So it's awesome, first of all, that you're actually still trying to promote a message from American Sun, even in uncertain times with indefinite time calendars and things like that too. So it's good that you're taking that approach and not just sitting back and waiting for other people to give you answers. That's very admirable in that. So.
Exactly. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. And I'm hoping that this really, you know, I know that people are talking about, oh, let's find ways where we can play shows from remotely, so to speak, or people can do like a virtual tour kind of thing, and, you know, go to one city or a particular region can tap into a link. Like, I don't want that to become the norm, but if that does in fact influence the way, you know, the concert experience goes, then we're going to have to adapt. You know, humans have to be adaptable to our circumstances. And going back to technology being so heavily tied into what we do with our daily, how we go about our daily lives, I understand that something along that lines could possibly happen, where people can tap into a show and watch a show remotely and just say, you know, hopefully that they don't go, well, I don't want to go to the show now. Hopefully they're like, that entices them to say, well, that show looks sick. Let me get up off my ass and leave my house and actually go out to a show, go out to a festival. So I'm excited, man. You know, it's an exciting time. It's challenging for the bands, because I want to be out there on the road, but I understand the social distancing and, you know, the parameters of quarantine. I get it. The public health concern, but at the same time, I'm itching to get on the road, bro.
I'm sure. I mean, we'll start wrapping up in just this couple minutes. One of the things I was looking forward to, as I do every year, are the DWP festivals, and you were going to be a part of those this year in May. So I was crushed when I couldn't work them. I'm sure that was even amplified more for you when you couldn't do Rockville or Epicenter or Sonic Temple. So
dude, we did those, you know, when, again, tying back to when we first came on the scene with Narrative. And we, you know, our booking agents and everyone was so excited about the band, and Danny Wimmer, all those dudes got really behind Fire from the Gods, which was a blessing. And so to get the honor to do them again now on the new record and do the full circuit, not just like Louder Than Life here and maybe we'll do one other, but we were actually a part of the circuit this year. We were stoked, man. So I'm a little crushed on that, because I'm a dude that fronts a band, but I'm also a fan, a huge rock and metal fan, so I wanted to see Metallica. You know what I'm saying,
Same.
dude? Like,
oh yeah, I gotcha.
this is it. This is gonna be my Metallica moment. You know,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be maybe watch side stage or something. You know, I'm thinking about all the ways I'm gonna finagle my way.
You were gonna play on one of the same days Metallica was playing, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, and Slipknot, man.
Exactly.
And I'm a huge Slipknot fan.
Exactly. Me too. So at the same time, you would have opened for Metallica.
Exactly. That was gonna go down as a resume tick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a bucket list. Like,
that's the type of thing you do. Like, you call up everyone that was mean to you in high school and go, "Hey, guess what I'm doing right now?"
Oh yeah,
that's
especially the dudes that were in better bands than I were in high school. That used to bully my band. You know, like shit like
that sucks.
Yeah, that used to cover Metallica, and they were just so good.
Oh, that'd be even better. You know yeah, there you go.
I'm like, yo, bro, check it out. Who's on stage right now?
Can you hear this on my cell phone? With side
exactly,
stage? There you
exactly.
Go.
Oh yeah, I do that kind of shit all the time. I'm petty like that.
Okay, but you've earned it though. You've earned it in the good way. You're nice to everyone that's nice to you. I think that's what's appropriate. And if you're bad to you, then you know what? That's their own problem.
Listen, bro. Yeah.
So there's one thing I want to say. Someone just put this in the chat, and I just want to read this to you. Just yesterday, I was listening to They Don't Like It. Love the duet verse between you and Sonny. Now it makes me want a Mike Shinoda collab with the band.
Yo, that would be so sick, dude. You know what, man? I did see Mike one time at we were in LA and we were at a show. I forget exactly where. It was myself and Richie. We were actually writing during American Sun. And he said to Richie, he was like, dude, I love you guys. I know who you are. And I was like, yo, Richie, say something to him. Because I didn't want to be like, yo, come here. I love Linkin Park. I would be like, yo, dude, bro, hey, my band. I didn't want to be that guy. But I was like, Richie, say, look, yo, like, hey, let's do a collab or something. Let's do something. Like, check us out. And he told Richie, he was like, yo, I dig those dudes. So I would love to have Mike Shinoda on a Fire track. That would be insane.
That's like a great goal for like someone to collab with.
Man.
That's a great one.
He's a fantastic composer too. So I would love to really, like with Sonny kind of just did his verse on top of our song that we had written. But I would love to full on collab with Mike Shinoda. He's incredible.
That's awesome. So that's a good recommendation too for that.
Yes.
So one final thing, I ask everyone the same question to end with this with. I always look for a good story. I'm always asking people what their favorite live performance story is from the fans. Meaning, while you're on stage, on the road playing, what's one thing that you saw from the fans that just will always stick out in your mind forever? Whether that's something crazy, funny, weird, gross.
There's so many.
Just like if there's just so one that sticks out in your head, even if it's recent, just one that's going to be like, oh my gosh, do I have to stop the show? Or, oh my gosh, check that out, that type of thing.
Okay, there was, man, we were on this last tour in Europe with The Who.
Okay. The Mongolian band. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. We were in Austria, for a random night in Austria, and I guess this was probably the worst club of the tour. Like, every club was super dope, and this place was just like worse in terms of, it's not really shining glitz and glamour, but it was just old school dingy punk rock as fuck.
Yeah.
No real green rooms, like grimy, you know. So Fire from the Gods, we were right at home.
Yeah.
But the Who dudes weren't. But there was this cat that was from Russia that came to the show, and he was singing every word from narrative songs to Sun songs, and he was just a nut job. And so I was like, dude, come up here. I was like, come on stage. And he's on stage, and we're like, yo, this song is, I forget, we were playing something off Narrative. No, sorry, something off American Sun. We were playing Another Level. And so Another Level, he starts going in, and Bonner's like, dude, tell him to stage dive. We're like, no. And the dude's like, yeah, I'm gonna stage dive. So he goes out there, and it's like this old Mongolian woman who was like checking out there for the Who, obviously. She's up front, and she's like, no, please. This psycho just goes straight up Superman and stage dives onto like this crowd of old people. It was insane. But yeah, that was my boy. That was our fan experience, man. That was a wild one. Big up Paul.
I just love the demographics of this. You riled up a Russian to tackle a Hungarian elderly woman in Austria. So.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Fire from the gods, bringing all these
tour was
cultures together. That's perfect.
That tour was like that, man. That tour was insane, man. And if I see you at one of the festivals, man, we'll talk about it.
Okay,
dude.
yeah, because
the Who are awesome, and that tour was crazy.
Yeah, I'm hoping everything in fall still is intact because I travel for the fall stuff too. So that's what I'm hoping for.
Fantastic. Yeah, awesome. I'm thinking that it's looking like something like that. We might be included in something, but we'll see.
Perfect. Yeah, that's all that we can hope for. So we'll end with this. If there's anything you would like to tell the audience right now, and after this is over, because as soon as the interview's over, it just goes live as a regular video on YouTube. If there's anything you would like to say to the audience right now about American Son, the band, touring, wash your hands, teach your kids to cuss at FIFA, anything, what would that be?
Yeah, dude, everyone just keep your heads up. I mean, like, just when dark times come, when hard times come, you just got to keep your head up and just know that it will pass. Right now, we're in a tough time in the industry and tough time in life in general. Just keep your head up, stay positive, and love one another, man, because that's the only thing that's going to get us through. Fuck what the talking heads are saying on TV. Listen to your heart. Stay at home and do the right thing. Peace.
It's much better when we can talk about just screw the talking heads at home. I think that's the perfect way to end everything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's getting a little old right now, so